What's up, folks? What's going on? We got a lot to talk about tonight. Oh my goodness, man. You know, if anybody y'all were paying attention to the time, we don't even know how late we are because we were talking about the document and Nas looked up and said, "Oh, we got to go live." Oh,
yep. It's we're a little distracted, y'all, but hey, it's a fantastic thing to have you all here.
What's going on? Who we got here tonight, Nas? Who we got?
Well, I'm gonna roll it off. We got Milton Bro in the house. Hello, thank you so much, Mayan Hernandez. Good to see you again. Hello, Hawkeye. Yes. Hey. All right. We got Tim 300 WSM. Good. Hello, Tom Patrick. Good to see you, Mr. Vino. Hello. All right, I'm sure we'll see more. Oh, well, Brian Anarino, good to see you.
Brian snuck in the back door.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm still here.
What's going on, everybody, man? It's been a long 2 days. Well, let's start off here. Let's just take care of this off the top. We all know what we're going to talk about tonight. I don't have any other announcements. I don't have. I think we're gonna just go over briefly the events coming up this weekend, but we're going to talk about the release of the letter yesterday.
Letter. It's a novel.
You know what? If they just took out all of the stuff that's not important, it would be 10 pages.
So, okay, there were 327 mentions of PMF. That's almost one per page. There were 46 mentions of clarify and 32 of clarifies. So 78 moments of supposed clarity, but yeah.
Oh, leave it to Nas to come up with those stats. And I guarantee you they're right coming from him.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we got a couple more snuck in the back here. Just want to say, hey, Darth Dav, good to see you. Coco Loco Nanito, just Supra, good to see you. How are you?
What's going on, right. Supra?
Yeah.
You know, there are people still finding out that the previous forum has been shut down. I went to my messages and spaces today and had a message like, hey, where'd everybody go? I'm like, okay.
Oops.
But hopefully he joins us here tonight. I gave him all the information to join us in the forum and join us here live tonight. So hopefully he slides in the door. And we had a couple. Ancient snuck in the back door. What's going on, Ancient Order?
All right.
I see you, dude.
Oh, yeah. See, you were actually watching the chat. I'm looking at StreamYard over here.
I'm looking at StreamYard. I see him right there. Third from the bottom.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Wasn't scrolling. I got Tom Patrick here. Have we seen that Johnny Glock trigger reset video? No, I have not, but I'll look into it. Thank you.
I watched it the other day. It's not bad.
All right.
You know, he does some work sometimes that'll get you in trouble if you're not careful. It's very precise work that he does. So I'm gonna look at a few more and maybe learn some of his things. I don't. It seems like he does a lot of competition type stuff.
Very high tune.
Yeah, quick resets and you know. So, but it all looks very good to me, and I had never watched in completion more than a couple of his videos, but yeah, being that Hawkeye is so interested in triggers, he's got me on going down a rabbit hole. But anyway, I wanted to say real quick before we get started that neither I nor Nas are lawyers. Anything we discuss on this channel in reference to the ATF rulings, it's just our interpretation of it, which you may or may not agree with. But if everyone lives in different states, please check with your state legislation on anything in the ruling. We'll put up if you have not read it for yourself, we'll put up the URL. We'll also put it in the chat so you can click on it and go read it for yourself. We will tell you that we've already alluded to it, that there are a lot of pages that either don't pertain to us, specifically in the realm of privately made firearms, because they refer to a lot in there as far as silencers or mufflers, what they want to call it.
Yeah.
And they also reference the FFLs, which some of us, like myself, are. I will have to read all of that because I am in the process of getting an FFL. So I will have
Yep.
to know all of that stuff. It a lot of it won't pertain to me because I won't be selling anything, but I will be taking in. And there was a couple of areas that I looked on there that kind of were really, really vague as far as serializing income. I know some people were talking about, and if I'm jumping around here, guys, just because I'm remembering stuff as I'm talking.
It was, well, the first like third of the document at least was ATF rebuttals for arguments against the implementing the rule.
Yeah, I think I just went through over 100 pages of this is the comment that came in. This is how we respond to it. Comment, response, and I was like, I'm not reading all of this.
No.
I mean, several hundred, at least 150 pages for that. But one of the things that I saw that a lot of people and guys, I haven't watched any YouTube channels on this subject just because I didn't want to be swayed by others' opinions until I got a chance to read. I'm going to watch several and get their take on it, but I wanted to be able to read it for myself. But one of the things that people were making mention of yesterday was the fact that if you take your PMF into a gunsmith for adjustment, why you would do that, I don't know. If you built it yourself, you should be able to do all adjustments yourself. And if you can't, come to FTQ 80
and ask for help.
And ask for help. But there are some people out there that may not feel up to doing it themselves, and they may take it in. It does not. There is a line that says that they don't have to. And this is my interpretation of it. They don't have to serialize it if they're servicing it and returning it the same day.
As long as they're not taking it into inventory.
Right. As long as they're not taking it into inventory, they are not required to put a serial number on your firearm. And if you want to make reference to that, and it was briefly mentioned in the beginning, and I'm sure I haven't gotten through all the entire document. I'm sure it's mentioned later in the 10 pages that are referring to privately made firearms. I did highlight it. Give me 1 second. Let me find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of highlights on here, guys. A lot of highlights.
Now,
go ahead while I'm looking for this, Nas. Go ahead.
Well, what really gets me is, it's 364 pages worth of, here's our rule. And a lot of it is just repetition over and over that we're going to implement this rule and not really clarifying things when, we're going to clarify this. We'll clarify this by referencing the same thing. At one point, I remember noting that they were trying to define readily using the term readily. I was like,
yeah. Here it is, guys. It's on between page 7 and 8. I'll just read the whole sentence. It says the final rule clarifies the gunsmithing rules proposed in the NPRM, which is the proposed rulemaking letter, by stating the following. 1, licensed firearms dealers, in addition to licensed manufacturers and importers, may conduct same-day adjustments or repairs of all firearms, including PMFs, without taking them into inventory, provided they are returned to the person from whom they were received. And that's, if you read a little bit before there, that's making reference to whether they have to serialize said PMF. And then down below it says non-licensees, which would be us. We don't have a federal firearms license. May mark PMFs for a licensee under the licensee's direct supervision, and that's I can only assume that that's in the case that they will be taking it into inventory. You're allowed to mark it yourself versus them marking it for you.
So with the privately made firearms, my understanding is you're allowed to apply your own serial number.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's a felony to try to obliterate the serial number of a manufacturer of something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So therefore, you can't do that. They have to take what you put on there. And that still puts a serial number on it and allows the wooden faced man to get his, trace on.
Ancient Order has a question. Yeah. What if the FFLs refuse to serialize?
Then there would be a lot of people going to jail.
I would assume that's on them.
I
Because
mean,
they would be the ones violating the statute after this is all we're talking after the 120 days.
But don't take my comment as, disagreement with it. I would say fight the power, all that. But I mean, let's be realistic. If you're fighting the law, especially a federal law, you're going to get walloped for it. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I go to an FFL, if I went to my FFL and they said, we're going to service your PMF and we could give a damn what they say and we're not serializing it.
Yeah.
That is not me telling them not to serialize. That's them choosing not to serialize, and they're going against the letter, not me, because I fully understand that they may have to serialize it. I don't feel like serialize it. You do what you got to do. Let me know what the serial number is. I'm like, I saw last night someone, I can't remember where I was reading. It might have been in our forum. I've been reading so much stuff here in the last few days.
Too much.
But yeah, Hawkeye, there will be. Someone said that there was, matter of fact, it was in the I think it was in the thread that Milton started about Crump's live last night, but someone had commented that the serial number and the amount of numbers that there will have to be to serialize. And I'm thinking about this little plate on the P80 and the GST9, all of these frames that have these little half-inch plate, not even an inch plate. No one has the
room.
Well, the room is there, but the equipment to get it that small to fit it in there.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Who has that equipment?
With readily available equipment, you're not going to be able to get it in there. You get 7, maybe 8 characters.
Yeah, they're talking like 12.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for all that. But I mean, I'm glad that they have the grandfathered clause in there because, honestly, I was taking stock of my inventory and I was like, I only need one more frame. And actually, I don't need that one, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get one of those CLs when Rook drop them if I have the money, or if I see it in time. But
and Hawkeye says, how will they know if they did or not? Well, Darth Dev responded, AFT trolls. Well, it's entirely possible. Government organizations have been known to try to throw things out there to catch people unaware.
I mean, they have secret shoppers too.
Yeah,
they have secret shoppers too. I mean, they can walk into any store at any time and ask for your records. They could come in as a regular person, and it's not worth it to me as an FFL to not comply. So you either stop selling them or you comply, because the jail time is not worth it.
No. And then, of course, the jail time is also going to result oftentimes in you losing your rights to firearms. So, and Hawkeye, how many? Probably not many, But a thought occurred to me. What if you were, say, across the state at a tournament and happened, or the Florida building competition, you're doing your shoot, and all of a sudden, you had you lost your sight. You have to go get a new sight and put it on right then and there. You go to your local gun store. You don't want to have to check it in and serialize it. But that's like really extreme case, and I can't think of any other reason really.
But he's right. How many FFL guys work on PMFs? Not many, because they don't even know how to build them themselves. They, I know mine doesn't. Showed him Copperhead, and he was just like, "Dude, how'd you do that?" I'm like, "You sell these things, dude."
My local gun shop did a Cerakote on a slide for me. Beautiful job with it, but really simple, just one color, nothing fancy. But I brought in the slide stripped already for him, and he kind of looked at me like, "What?" Like, you don't need it to have the parts in it, and you also don't need me to fill out that silly form if it's just the slide.
Hey, look, when I stood there and I had when I had the barrel done for Copperhead, when I had it crowned, I said, "You don't need any of the rest of this, right?" He says, "Nope." So I popped it, took the barrel out, threw the barrel in the case, and left him the barrel. And he kind of just looked at me like, "Okay, we don't have many non-military guys that know how to disassemble a Glock as fast as you just did." I'm like, I've built this a couple of times, and a lot of them wouldn't know how. And I guarantee you that most of the ladies that worked in this, nothing against ladies, but I guarantee you most of the ladies that work there that sell those firearms have no idea how to break them down. None.
I don't know those particular people. I know my local gun store. It's a couple of females on staff, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Oh yeah. Some of them do. I guarantee you. The ones that been there a long time, I know, but they got some.
Breaking hot button question. This is one I wish we could do a poll for. Would you shoot a PMF that Biden built in 30 minutes? I like to keep my fingers, please. Goodness. Hey,
I mean, did you see him picking up the frame and slide yesterday? It was like he was scared he was going to shoot his hand off. Dude, like, there's no.
It's plastic. I think he was overacting for the sake of
that whole thing pissed me off yesterday because you're pandering to the fears of the American ignorant public, and I say ignorant to the fact that they don't know that they don't know the information. I'm ignorant about brain surgery, but I don't want to know about brain surgery. I'm ignorant about how to build a AK-47. I plan to find out one day, but so don't take the word ignorant as wrong if you know what the definition of ignorant is. But they pander to their ignorance and their fear of what they don't know, because I listened to this young lady, and I'm not taking anything away from her story, because her story is her story. And she talked about how she got shot and her brother got killed, and I feel for them. Trust and believe. I'm not making light of their story, but they want to make it sound like every victim is not a victor as well. They want to say everybody's a victim. I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. I survived it. Okay. And in my survival, it further reinforced me to exercise my right to carry a firearm, because the only time I got shot is when I didn't have my firearm. Now, granted, I'm glad, in a way, I'm glad I didn't have it, because I'd be in jail right now for premeditated murder. No doubt about it. He'd be dead, and my kids would have grew up without a father.
Things happen the way they do for a reason.
Happen for a reason. However,
I'm going to break in just real quick. Yep. Hey, D-Kind 2, thanks for joining us. Also, Tito Custom Blades. Yeah, how you doing there? Gunsmithing's a wonderful thing to do. Work for it, practice, practice, practice. And if you're going to do it for a living, you're going to have to get an FFL. So start reading those 364 pages now.
Thanks for breaking me off that soapbox, dude.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I got to kick that
No.
sucker out from
I was
underneath
just, it just pisses me off when they make us all seem like victims. We're not all victims. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that within the sound of my voice that have had the situation, either they've been shot at somebody, or been in the vicinity of someone that got shot. So, and if you haven't,
I personally haven't, thank God. Hopefully never will be.
Well,
but
see, I grew up in New York City, so gunfire was not a stranger to me. And even into effect, I kind of carried it with me for a while until I actually got shot myself. But gunfire would never scare me. Some people would say some people would say you're crazy. I'm like, yeah, probably a little bit. But after I did get shot, it let me kind of triggered in my brain that, okay, dude, you might want to duck.
Yeah, get down.
But again, back to not everybody's a victim, and they want to play to that. Now, that being said, today in New York City, there was several people shot on the subway train.
Oh my God.
I had to thank God that my daughter was not there, because it happened at a train stop that she normally either gets on or off. I can't remember exactly, for her to go to school. And it would have happened at a time when she was on her way to school.
That's crazy.
So I thank God that she wasn't.
Yeah.
They've even, I think they said that they found blasting caps or detonators in the subway stations in New York. They had the subway shut down today in New York City. And if anybody's in the chat that knows specifics about that, because like I said, I'm just going off of what my daughter posted on Facebook. So I thank God that whoever survived that, thank God you did. And those who did not, I want to send condolences out to their families. It's unfortunate that this happened. And bringing note to that, New York is one of the heavily, just like California, is one of the heavily regulated states in the United States. So
that makes for easy targets.
And these things still happen. So while they're trying to fight, have gun control, some of the major cities that have all of these laws enacted still have these problems. So when are they going to start looking at what the real problem is?
I mean, it doesn't matter how many laws they enact. Criminals don't care if they're breaking the law. It's not like one's going to look at the other and go, hey, is your gun serialized before we knock that place over? Let's make sure we're up to snuff on this before we knock that place over. We're going to take their money, but no, they don't care.
Yeah.
The other thing too that bugs me is oftentimes they conflate the numbers for privately made firearms without serial numbers and firearms that are recovered that have obliterated serial numbers. Those should be two separate categories, but that doesn't much matter anyway.
Well, like I said, I haven't finished reading, but it sounded like they were trying to do that.
Yeah. And exactly, Ancient Order, the problems are worse in those cities. That's why they need to be able to protect themselves more. I mean, it's the city I grew up in has taken a turn for the worse, and as far as crime goes, it's pretty bad now. There's been just shooting after shooting after shooting, and I remember when I was a kid, there was nothing like that, So maybe not have needed to carry back then, but now if I go into town, it sure would be nice.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to this.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the AFT ruling. We kind of got sidetracked there. Oh,
it's squirrel.
Yeah. Wow. So
page 7. Let's go to the end of page 6, beginning of page 7.
Oh my gosh. So let me go to the top of my notes here. Hold the heck on.
While you do that, I have outlined. Let me see. Let me pull it up on the screen. End of page 6. The final rule also provides detailed examples of such items are considered readily completed, assembled, restored, or otherwise converted to function as a frame receiver. I hadn't gotten that. I got that highlighted in blue because I wanted to refer to something further down that I haven't gotten to yet. But following that up, at the same time, the final rule makes clear that the article that have not yet reached a stage manufactured where they are clearly identified as an unfinished component of the frame or receiver, unformed block of metal, liquid polymer, or other raw materials are not firearms or receivers. Did we really have to have that in there?
Well, okay, they probably did because we were giving them so much crap over the past year over this.
The 0%.
Well, I mean, especially just you can go down to Home Depot and get this length pipe, that length pipe, yada yada.
Yeah.
We're not going to go over specifics here, but if somebody wants to, feel free to post it in the forum. Go ahead. We're not going to get kicked off YouTube for that, but go ahead and post on the forum. I know the admin; he won't be upset. It's fine.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh yes, your aluminum blocks are safe.
Yeah. So if you got a GG3, you good to go.
Well, yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't quite have that, but 3D printers are nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, look at that. What's that?
Oh yeah, dude, put mine in the mail, dude.
I'm still tweaking that last design a little bit.
Okay, and for those that haven't heard yet or don't haven't spoken to anyone that has said so, and I'm sure you guys have looked at other YouTube videos and they've pointed out the same thing, that the final rule also exempts from the new definition and marking requirements existing split frame or required or receiver designed in which a part was previously classified by ATF as the firearm, frame, or receiver, and provides examples and pictures of select exempted frames or receivers, such as AR-15, M16 variant firearms. The only exception to grandfathering will be for partially completed, disassembled, or non-functional frames or receivers, including weapons or frame or receiver parts kits that ATF did not classify as firearms, frames, or receivers as defined prior to this rule. So basically, if you got it, you good.
Yep. And if you're in the middle of getting it, finish it.
Finish it. Well, you don't even have to finish it. Like I have the frames, unstarted frames. As long as they're in your possession and you don't have to purchase them from an FFL, you're good.
That's kind of what I'm saying. If you need, now's the time to get your blanks and your other parts and all that stuff.
Yeah. Just stock up on what you want.
120 days from here till hell. But yes, of course, there's going to be legal challenges. Hey,
this
ancient
120 days is going to get extended for sure.
I did go there. 3D printing. I've been looking at the Chairman Wan files. I'm pretty fantastic on his hex pattern, and the engraving one looks nice too. I do not need a biggest dickest though. I'm all set. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. I'm gonna put a post into the forum later. Not tonight. It's late. This week, promise. But yeah, you can do all kinds of things with 3D printing, which is also covered in this freaking hellacious document.
Hey, did you put on Darth Dav's uh
I missed it. No, here we go.
okay. Now, yeah, she got a lot of flack for I forget her name right now, but yeah, she bought a gun because she wanted to protect her and her son, one of the hosts of The View. And I saw that episode. I watched that episode probably on YouTube, and she got a lot of flack from her co-hosts because she wanted to protect herself and her son. I'm sitting there going, "Are you freaking serious? You're gonna berate this woman and down talk her because she felt unsafe and not protected by the police in the effect that they wouldn't get there in time, and wanted to protect her and her son, and her fellow co-hosts, which are all women, wanted to talk her down. One was flip-flopping so bad back and forth. I'm like, do you have a thought of your own? That was just utterly ridiculous.
They get pushed both ways. Yeah, no. And it's funny how important the rights to protect yourself becomes when you become the victim of violence. Yeah. What do we got here? Hawkeye, back in the late 80s, bought a chunk of aluminum with a serial number before Clinton took office. You know, I wouldn't doubt you. I wouldn't doubt you at all. Mr. Vino, will parts be available after the 128 days? Yes. Undoubtedly, you're going to be able to, when
parts aren't even mentioned in the letter.
No, they're really concerned about the big chunks that hold it all together. Now, and specifically, they're concerned about how much of that, and going even further into the build, buy, shoot kits, like they pretty much called it by name. They're
coming after ARs too, guys.
Yeah,
they mention ARs all through this letter. The receivers whether it's an upper receiver, lower receiver, they are mentioning, they are laying the groundwork for serializing. And this is one of the things that we were talking about just before we went live on page 292. They make reference to a definition of a receiver and definition of a frame.
Yes. As an example, they were giving the AR, but they've also specifically excluded the AR from future requirements. They're like, look, this has already been classified. We're not touching this. But in the future, weapons made like this are going to have to go through all this rigmarole.
Right. Yeah. Everything you have now, good to go. ARs, AR-10s, AR-9s, AR-15s, pistols, whatever the case they are. And they classify pistols as gun something that expels a projectile other than a handgun. So they couldn't even call it a pistol caliber carbine or anything like that. They just said anything other that expels a projectile other than a handgun.
Go figure. The one time
that's your rifles, that's your rifles, that's your shotguns. So if you have those 1022s and all that, man, they're looking at going at all of them. Right now, their specific language is about the frames, but they're also mentioning the receivers as well.
Right.
And in that one quote we were talking about, it sounded to me like they were looking at serializing upper receivers.
Well, they made a similar analogy to that for pistols, and specifically referenced Glock.
Well, in that one, they said it was the lower because it holds the
majority of components, I believe.
Let me just go down to page 292.
Oh, Ancient Order. So serializing is registry. Yes, registry is illegal. Yes, we're not maintaining a registry, but they are pushing people towards doing the e-records, which are easy to sift and sort.
Oh yeah, I highlighted that part in red. Yeah.
I mean, you might not be setting out and calling it a registry as such, but in fact,
Yeah.
it is functioning as such.
Yeah, they're hiding it because basically, in case you guys don't know, any FFL must keep their paperwork, and from my understanding, they must keep it for 20 years. Now they're extending it to indefinitely, whether
And
it's
then,
paper, or whether it's electronic. And then if they go out of business, they must now give all that information to the ATF. So
yep,
now, even if they don't get it before, they're getting it after, and they're going to use that to and they say specifically they're going to use it in investigations in cases of crimes being committed. So now all of these PMFs that now must be serialized after 120 days, they now subject to being on file in a registry form, because at any time, think about it, guys, at any time the ATF can walk into an FFL and require them to show them their records. Now they're not supposed to copy their records, but
there's a lot of things that agencies do that they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's weird how that functions.
Yeah.
Mr. Vino, so I need to get some uppers for air also.
I would.
If
I would
you have
everything you want to get.
Exactly. And so it's not necessarily the greatest, but push comes to shove, if you have this dream build in mind and you can find things on Optics Planet, you can pay using PayPal credit, 6 months interest free, split up the payments, make it work. There's a firm for other organizations, and Ram, I know you mentioned this, but I think our cards have been tipped here. We kind of have to mention it because we're at 119 day limit now, because they published the rule yesterday.
Now, did it get published? Because I everything I saw was the preliminary thing, so it definitely got published yesterday.
That's what I believe I saw that. That's what that happened.
Because every copy that I was able to find of the form, it had not been published yet. But I mean, I'm sure it probably got published yesterday, and even if it didn't, they're gonna backdate it. But it is what it is.
I suppose we should be grateful we got 120 days and not 60, but
yeah, because it originally was supposed to be 60.
Well, that was some of the conjecture here and there, and you started off saying that you didn't watch any YouTubers or anything about it, and
yeah,
I confess I started watching Crump's live stream, but
I watched it for about 5 seconds until never mind.
They started detouring too much for me to keep track.
They were already detoured when I clicked in. I was like, okay, nope.
This is water, just for the record. Water.
Look, I clicked on and Ralph was yelling, so I was like, okay, yeah, not for me.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't even know what he was yelling about. I was just like, okay, I can't.
Yes, Hawkeye. Biden did say that all these forgetful toddlers were making these changes.
Yeah, but and look at the first paragraph. Department of Justice is the one doing it. It seems like the Department of Justice is spanking the ATF for not doing it right the first time.
Well, I think they're trying to say, oh, look, we have the clout of the Department of Justice because we're a branch of them. But whatever. It's
but it's written in first person as if the Department of Justice wrote this.
Well, they have to make Biden look good for the midterms. It's all optics. Politics are optics. Hey, movie time. If you've never seen a movie called Wag the Dog, watch it. It's good stuff. What? It is.
Hawkeye. Neither does the ATF, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, that's a beautiful thing. No, the Department of Justice does not make the laws. We have 3 branches of government. Can anybody name them?
Nope.
Exactly.
I know I'm gonna be wrong.
Executive, legislative, and judicial. Executive says, oh, these are the laws that were passed by the legislative. This is what I need to protect and defend. I'll arrest people that don't live by these laws and then put them into the judicial system. At which point the court goes, yeah, they screwed up. Put them in jail. Back to the Justice Department. Anyway.
Right, I'm gonna skip forward to 292 real quick.
Oh yes, 292.
292.
Yeah, because all the meat and potatoes is 291 to 300 basically.
Yeah.
That's where you really want to focus in. FFLs, you have more to read, and I pity you.
Yeah, I'm going to read everything except the comment section, the comment and response section. That's just stupid. But it basically says, and I'm starting at the top where the blue starts. It says the new definition set forth in the new 478.12 separately defines frame from handgun and receiver for rifles, shotguns, and other weapons that expel a projectile other than handguns. That would be your pistol caliber carbines or your pistols, rifle. You know what I mean? Your SBRs and stuff like that. Rather starting in the yellow, rather than a definition that describes any housing for any fire control component, these definitions now describe only a single housing or structure component for one specific fire control component of a given weapon, including variants thereof, a term that is also defined. For handguns or variants thereof, it is the housing or structure for the primary energized component designated to hold back the hammer, striker, bolt, or similar component prior to ignition of the firing sequence, i.e. the sear or equivalent, even if pins or other attachments are required to connect each component to the housing or structure. Now, when I read that part, I was initially thinking, what, they're going to serialize the upper, but then when they mentioned in parentheses the sear or equivalent, which is part of the lower, because the trigger bar is in the lower.
It's still clear as mud, man. But they are requiring that anybody that previously did like the P80 frames, they have to be resubmitted with the jigs and everything for consideration.
What do you mean?
Oh, God, I forget the page. We skipped past it in my notes, but anyway, basically, the ATF was going to need P80 to resubmit the frame with the jig, not
their
just
design. The design.
No, the frame with the jig to be reconsidered to, well, is this a firearm or not? Again, they're really harping after those build by shoot kits. They almost targeted it at.
So if they target P80, they must going to target everybody. Nomad Defense, everybody.
Basically, but again, they literally mentioned the build by shoot kits, which, okay, P80 was catchy, but you bit your tongue there. You know, it's all nonsense, full of sound and fury that signifies nothing.
Well, I wanted to get to this next part where it states in reference to for rifle, shotguns, and projectile weapons other than handguns or variants, because we already know the handgun is they're looking at the lower. Okay, we already know they're going to serialize the lowers. For rifle, shotguns, projectiles, weapons other than handguns or variants thereof, it is housing or structure for primary component designed to block or seal the breach prior to initiation of the firing sequence, i.e. the bolt, which is in the upper receiver, breech block or equivalent, even if it pins or other attachments are required to connect such component to the housing or structure. So to me, that's sounding like they're trying to go for serializing the upper receiver versus the lower receiver on an AR rifle or any of the other things that they mentioned there?
Well,
Again, going for it after the 120 days, 119.
And okay, fine. That wouldn't be without precedent entirely. That's how they do it over in Europe, as to my understanding. So I mean, but to change this long-standing rule for what purpose? Really, it makes no sense. They're just blowing smoke. It's all it is. It's procedural. It's not really going to affect me or you in the long run any which way. We might have to jump through a few more hoops where we can't buy all of the parts in one order. We're going to have to put in two, or we might have to buy the jigs separately from the frame.
Well, it doesn't matter about the jig at all after this 120 days. If you get a lower, you have to have it serialized, no matter where you live.
Well, no, the privately made firearms were exempt from that as long as you didn't get it brought into an FFL or try to sell it.
After 120 days, it doesn't matter.
No,
because so you're saying that if you get it from
you're gonna have to give me
MDX, who's not an FFL, okay?
Yeah,
and I don't know if MDX is FFL or not, but if you get it from MDX who's not an FFL, are you saying that it doesn't need to be serialized after the 120 days?
So yeah, I'm gonna have to look up my exact. Again, I took 10 pages of notes on the first 100 pages.
I mean, please let me know, because I haven't finished reading it. So
so it'll take a while to scan through. But my understanding was no, as long as you purchased it for yourself, you're not intending to sell it, and you're not doing this for a living, which means FFLs need not apply.
That's not what I got. That's not what I got. I got anything that sells after the 120 days has to be serialized.
No, that if they sell it as a kit, but again, a lot of these things are going to need to be reclassified. So expect after 119 days from today, just to prep for that. That you probably won't be able to buy frames for a little while the ATF dicks around with P80. God, I'm ignoring the comments right now. Yes, that's what I'm catching too. And Hawkeye, yes, 100%. There will be all kinds of lawsuits. Gun Owners of America is already prepping one, I'm sure. There's certainly others too that are going to do it. Just don't hold your breath, because the turmoil is going to cause even more confusion. I should have highlighted this and made more of a note. I got too busy reading the actual document to streamline this.
If that's the case, then this none of this makes any difference, because if you're telling me that if you don't buy it from an FFL and you're buying it for yourself, who's to say that a criminal, which is the whole point of all of this, is what they're trying to tell us, a criminal shouldn't be able to purchase it online and for his own use, whatever use that is, criminal intent or not, and not require a serial number. The whole point of all of this is to require everyone to have to go through a background check if you purchase it after the 119 days.
So again, the current batch of stuff that's out there, until that's gone, should be fine. But
after that 119 days, it's not supposed to be.
But P80 is going to have to resubmit their shiz.
I'm not even talking about what P80 has. I'm talking about what's currently in the hands of FFLs. If they don't sell it within that 119 days, they have to serialize it.
But it's an existing component, though. I think
it's not in the hand of an unlicensee. It's in the hands of the FFL.
No, okay, but a lot. most of the places I purchased from weren't FFLs; they were warehouses. You don't have to be.
And that was my point of mentioning MDX, because I'm not sure if they're an FFL or not.
I would wager most of the suppliers that we as a community typically rely on are not. At least not for their day-to-day operations. They might have like a specialty thing.
Well, if they sell full firearms, they have to be an FFL.
Yeah, like, well, okay, that's right. You all can take advantage of places like Palmetto State Armory. They won't ship to me.
Yeah, but if you order from somewhere like Palmetto State Armory or Primary Arms or anything, those are FFLs. They have to ship to FFLs, from them to FFLs, in order for you to get a full firearm. They also sell P80s.
Yeah.
So they are an FFL. So if they sell it after the 119, and guys, trust me, I'm going to read more tomorrow, and again, I have not read it all, so I could absolutely be wrong. And I will find
Hawkeye. Just have a bayonet on your AR, great, but buddy, I don't think any war has ever been won by a bayonet charge.
I believe, yeah.
Well, yes, Glock specifically, yes. If P80 before, okay, so if you have a P80. It's not serialized. If it's before manufacture, it's just a piece of plastic. You can stipple it ahead of time.
Well, it looks like he's talking about Glock specifically, not P80.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I did say for Glock, yes, because it's serialized already and it's already in the system. You have to. But if it's okay, yeah, he's confirming. Yeah, if it's pre-manufactured, then
Ancient Order put up a comment also up top. There you go.
Yeah,
they're requiring those companies to be FFLs. That was my understanding also. That they have to get rid of their inventory prior to the 119 or be an FFL and serialize their stock, which is what, and that's when it comes into when they were talking about the financial impact, and they said like 14 point something million impact on the FFLs to get this done.
7. Yeah.
To get this serialization done based on their inventory,
which isn't a significant enough impact to affect the rule being passable. It has to be over $100 million impact to the economy. Oy vey. Hey, I just want to point out, it is almost 11 o'clock already. We've been yakking at this for nearly an hour already.
We could talk about this for weeks, man. And
we probably will be.
Yeah.
So new segment, interpreting the new ATF rule.
Because we're just scratching the surface. And by next week, I will have watched some of my favorite YouTube news outlets in reference to this, to get a clearer understanding of some of the areas where I'm vague on. I'm going to first finish reading it myself tomorrow. What's pertinent to us. I'll take my time reading the rest of it, but what's pertinent to this group and what we do, I'll finish reading tomorrow. So,
and please feel free to share your thoughts in the forum,
guys. Okay? Please fill the forum up, man.
We're doing good. We've got a lot of users already. We're up to like almost 150 users last I checked. It's a great start. We've only been around for a month and a half now. Doing good. But I was also wondering, for the safety second thing, I was thinking of doing a segment, but obviously we got sidetracked. Go figure. How would y'all like some custom printed armor slide plates? What do you think? Yeah. We'll give you a second to catch up with that.
We'll put it back up there, man.
Oh, hold on.
Armor plates, yes, with FTQ 80 on them. I want them, dude.
I think the next batch I'm going to sink it in. The lower leg of the F doesn't come out too well when it's printed so small, but that's okay. I and then of course there's this is version 1 of Magwell, so that's fun. When I get these STLs the way I like them, I'll probably put them up on the forum because here to share. But in the meanwhile, I happen to have a couple of these little armor backplates here. I did these kind of a test. They fit pretty good though. They work. Anybody want one?
Yeah, it looks like we got a couple.
All right. I tell you what, hey Ram, it's been a while.
What's up?
It's been a while. You want to do a hashtag draw?
Yeah, we'll do a hashtag draw. Why not?
All right. Okay.
Give me 1 second to pull it up.
Yeah. All right. So I just put.
All right. So what should the hashtag be?
I just put it in the private chat there. What do you think?
Oh, you did.
Safety second. All right.
Thanks for the sub, Lunatic Rider. Hey, Lunatic Rider, he put up a comment a minute ago about if someone wanted to. Here we go. Now, if you wanted any frame or slide work done from someone, then yes, it has to be serialized. Lunatic Rider, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, it's really depends on the part or parts you're trying to put in. It's looking likely, but it's really up to the ATF's individual discretion, which they can change it at any darn time. All right,
guys. If you want one of those armorer back plates, go ahead and comment hashtag safety second. Oh, yeah, Mr. Vino, misspelled, dude. Didn't get you. Mr. Vino, respell it.
I appreciate you wanting to do your thing. That's cool. Hey, yeah, I figure they're actually not, oh gosh, takes maybe 30 minutes to print off the small batch I did. I did it really slow. I'm still getting used to the 3D printing thing. All right. We got a couple.
I'm trying to.
How about we give it just another minute here before we pull it, because it's almost 11. I think it'd be nice to finish off with a draw.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the screen
Mr. Vino. Third time's the charm. You got it. Do it right. You can do it. You can do it. I want you to have a chance to win one of these, because I made a couple of them.
Oh, while we're doing that, everybody's doing that, why don't we go ahead and talk about? Do you still have the document up so we can?
Oh, the upcoming events.
The upcoming events.
Yeah. You all do that hashtag safety second. So upcoming events. April 18th, suicide prevention seminar at the Stock and Barrel Gun Club. That's over in Chanhassen. This is close to where Weapon XYZ is. He highly recommends you go there. I remember that. Then there's the Combative Handgun Solutions class, April 23rd. And I tell you what, if this lady don't chill you to the bone, you need to find some new ladies in your life, because she's a bad mother. Where's that? Where? Come on. Yeah.
That's this weekend. That's the 16th.
Oh, okay.
That's the firearm safety and educational awareness. That's this weekend, the 16th in New York. All of the events are in the events tab in the forum, which you can see the forum address below. What's up?
I'm thinking I'm going to put a calendar somewhere on the forum for these, a proper calendar, so you're not scrolling by going, oh, when was this date? When was that date?
Okay.
Let me look into that. Cool. All right. We got a lot of people already keyed in on that, and I think that was the last event we had mentioned, right?
We got May 6th. We still have the in Phoenix, Arizona, Freedom Days, SIG Freedom Days with USCCA.
Okay.
I still want to go to that, but I'm sure my shoulder won't be healed by then. I'm gonna have to retrain my whole man. I was telling Weapon X last night that I'm gonna have to retrain from the beginning, man. My shoulder is after physical therapy, I have to do strengthening, and then I have to see if I can even still present, draw and present how I've trained. I may have to retrain from the beginning.
Well, I mean, you are a fan of the Vince Lombardi school. This is a football,
Yeah,
remember?
this is a football. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
all right.
absolutely
Hey, Ram,
right.
let's pull that. Pull that draw up, shall we?
Let's
end this on a high note.
That is. All right, we got 9 entries out of the 11 that are currently watching.
I'll take it.
I'm one of those, so we'll take it. All right, so how many we giving away? 1, 2.
Spin the wheel. We'll see what we do.
Spin the wheel. Here we go. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. It wouldn't be something if we win.
Elite Killer 253. All right, that's a new name. Hey,
yeah, that's a new name.
You need to go down to this forum right here, ftq80.info/forum. Register an account. Send me a message with your address, and I'll put one of these in the mail for you. Okay. Now, Ram,
what's up?
Spin it 2 more times.
2 more?
Yeah, we got to have 3 winners tonight. I don't know.
All right.
What we got?
Oh, we got to spin it again. We got to.
You already won. It doesn't take away people that have already won. I'm sorry.
I can, but I don't remember how.
Okay,
I'll figure that out before
automatically.
Yeah, I think there's a way to do it automatically. I just don't remember how. Right?
I also put you on the spot. It's not like you were really planning for it.
Tom Patrick. Patrick. How do you pronounce that name? Patrick. I don't know, but you're a winner.
I'm going to go with a long E because of personal experience, but that's okay. Go ahead and hit me up on the forum. Congratulations to you. Have a cool little slide back plate. Oh wait, I have 2. Oh wait, no, hang on. I have 1, 2, 3 of them. Roll that die again. Spin that wheel. Do it up.
Hold on, one second. Yes, Hawkeye. Rehab sucks, but it does work. Yeah, I'm already exercising, dude.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna roll it again. One more time.
Yeah, I figure a third of the people that are in the odds here have a chance of winning it, so it's all good.
Hey, I won.
All right. You know what? I was going to send you one anyway. Roll the wheel.
All right, we're going to run it again. I almost hurt my arm doing that.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to spin it that hard.
Oh, Lord. Okay, let's see.
They really want
Thanks, Matthew.
Elite Killer. Yeah, they really want him to get so many.
Okay, I'm starting to think this is a fixed rig.
All right. I tell you what. If this comes up as one of you 2 again,
there you go, Brian.
There we go. All right. So Tom, Brian, Elite Killer, you guys send me your addresses on that forum down there over private message. I'll get it. I'll put one of these in the mail to you. All is good. Pet. Yeah, Tom Patrick. Yes, thank you. See, I got you.
Oh man, it's been a long night, guys. It is 11:04.
It is, but I think we had a fairly good discussion. I thank everybody here for joining in with us.
Yeah, guys. I'm just this is going to be a long process. Like everybody said, like several people said, it's going to be lawsuits. GOA is on the ball. We got FPC on the ball. You got we got local organizations on the ball too. So just pay attention. Like I said, I'm going to finish reading it tomorrow. Tonight I'm going to sleep, but tomorrow I'm going to finish reading it. And anything that is contradictory to what I thought, I will definitely post it up in the forum. And again, we're not lawyers. We're interpreting from what we know.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hawkeye. So if you guys, please, we need your help as well. So if you guys hear anything, see anything, post it up in the forum for us, because we're all learning this. I'll be honest, I've never read a document in its entirety before now, and I'm not going to read this one in its entirety, but I'm going to read most of it. So if you have any questions for me, ask them in the forum or hit me up in DM or in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, absolutely hit us in the comments or join the forum and hit us up there.
Yeah.
And we'll be happy to answer any questions or find the answers. Or if you know the answers, hey, hit us up.
You can join us here live on stream.
Join us here live, guys. We want you to join us live. We're going to start cherry picking people.
All right. Lunatic Rider, you know now. I see you. Come on in. It's a new home.
You're definitely welcome, dude. All right, guys. We are going to say good night. We thank you for joining us.
All right.
And we'll see y'all next time.
All right.